to the Rowdy.com Big Three. I'm Buck Peeper. He's Bass Masters.
I'm staring down the camera, Buck. I'm going to stare it down.
Stare it down.
With your steely gaze. With your steely gaze.
The Intimidator. And there's Buzz Cutler.
Buzz Cutler has the big burning issues in NASCAR today. One issue that is on fire. Martin Truex Jr. This guy's really coming up. As you pointed out, Bass Masters, his crew just won the first quarter pit crew award.
Voted on by other crew chiefs, I might add.
So
this isn't some fan vote. Nothing against the fans, but this is their peers.
His fellow peers, yes.
Fans vote with their hearts, not their heads.
Yes, that is true.
Yeah.
Martin Truex Jr., I guess you don't really, you can't second guess his decision to leave Earnhardt Ganassi at this point. It seems to be paying off.
He did the right thing for him. He's not looking back. I don't sense there's no regrets. But you have to be impressed also with the one car this year in Jamie McMurray. So,
totally.
But I think Martin Truex Jr. and Michael Waltrip Racing, I mean, we think back to that team when it first started. It was a
mess.
A wreck to train. I mean, it was not good, right? So, but they've made such progress. They've stuck with it. Personally, I'm very impressed by that group and by Michael as an owner, keeping his perspective and taking this thing forward. They have to take the next step. Speed-wise, I don't think they're there yet for David Rudiman and Martin Truex Jr. And Truex is showing he's a fighter and he's a very talented driver. He's really grown into that role as a team leader over there in a very short time frame, I think. So the future is bright for those guys, but right now they're still going to have to fight like hell to get in the chase. But I tell you something, if you want to ask yourself why is he in the top 12, thank his pit crew. Thank his pit crew because they've done well this year.
And I think it's safe to say we didn't really expect Martin Truex to be in the top 12.
Oh, I did.
We might have hoped, we might have thought it was possible, but come on.
And we'll see what happens after race 26. It's going to be a fight, in my opinion, for him to stay in there, but he could do it.
And he might be fighting Juan Pablo to stay in there, which is kind of interesting.
Oh, he might be fighting Carl Edwards or Matt Kenseth to be in there.
Yep.
All right. A lot of personnel issues came up over the weekend. Harvick extended. He and Richard Childress kissed and made up, although not publicly, thank God.
Well, no, actually, there was a big kiss. No, they didn't.
Did we see this a year ago happening? Absolutely not. We thought Kevin Harvick was one of the hottest properties in the garage. Turns out, in a way, he is a hot property because he's #1 in points, but he really couldn't find another home. And turns out he didn't need to. So he did kiss and make up with Richard Childress, and they're going to be racing together for 3 more years.
We interrupt your regularly scheduled Rowdy.com programming to bring you this special announcement. Rowdy.com and the National Tailgating League are teaming up to bring you the best in pre-race entertainment. That's right, all day Saturday at the Charlotte Motor Speedway, we're talking cornhole, cornhole, cornhole. A contest to find the best rack in Charlotte, and by rack, of course, I'm referring to ribs. And Saturday night's concert featuring the Gin Whitney Band. If you want to participate in cornhole, in the ribs cook-off, or just come enjoy some music, check out www.thenTL.com. That's www.thenTL.com. Buck Bass and I will be there. Hope you will too.
I think you got to go back to the owner, Richard Childress, on this and say, I'm impressed. Think about where the team was last year. Think about all the changes they made. Well, they were apparently the right ones. Think about all the things that Kevin Harvick said and how Richard Childress kept his cool, kept his calm, kept his powder dry, didn't fire back, didn't say, well, you know what? Everybody's in this together, or give Kevin any attitude. And Kevin was like, I think it's time to close this book and open a new book. You know, he was pretty blunt. And we were like, well, I guess he's gone. And Richard Childress deserves a lot of credit here for rebuilding that team and getting Kevin Harvick to the point where he's leading the points. And furthermore, Kevin Harvick, you know, for all his grumpy attitude, he's proven to be a pretty smart guy out on the racetrack. So I'm impressed with both those guys. I'm glad they're sticking together.
The other big personnel story that got clarified over the weekend is the fate of Brian Vickers, at least for 2010. He's going to be out for the rest of the season. Can't race, well, I guess he could race with blood thinners, as he said, but can't crash. Can't crash while taking blood thinners is what Brian Vickers said. So Brian Vickers out for the rest of 2010. You hate to see that, a guy who made the chase last year.
It's
I think it's
unfortunate for Brian Vickers. This is one of those things in sports. A lot of the, you know, it's interesting in NASCAR, Buck, because these guys get in all these wrecks, but how often do they miss a race?
Very rarely.
Almost never. Almost never. And yet, here's Brian Vickers, who's injured not in a race car, but via something else. And it is serious. When a guy is going to step out and miss the rest of the season, it is serious. What caused these things? Obviously, on blood thinners right now, you can't wreck. Okay, I'm going to get my friend Annie, who's a doctor, to come on the Rowdy podcast and talk about this, because it is serious.
You look at these drivers. Dale Earnhardt once raced a road course, Watkins Glen, with a broken sternum and a broken shoulder. Okay, these guys will do anything.
And Brian Vickers would too.
Yeah.
It's not the pain, though, in this case.
It was very interesting. I listened to the clip that Brian Vickers said, and he said, there's a silver lining to this, and it's I'm alive. And you take a step back.
That's a good silver lining.
You take a step back and you go, holy crap, he's right. He's alive. He could have died. So I think when you look at it from that perspective, he may never get in a race car again. I sure hope he does. But he's got a healthy sense of perspective, and he's got far more serious things to consider than whether his Red Bull car and he ever get back together.
There are some very smart guys in the garage, actually. I know Rick's always making fun about how you can't exceed a certain intelligence level to be a driver. Brian Vickers is one of the smartest guys in the garage, along with some other impressive dudes. And I think he's you're right, Buck. He's keeping it all in perspective.
And he was nice to us when we met him at Dover.
Heck yeah.
Heck yeah.
So he's really smart.
Yeah.
Smart enough to be nice to us.
Exactly. Are we smart enough to know when to end the Rowdy.com Big Three?
Right now.
Like this, if we were in a choir, in a chorus in school, the teacher would be like,
Rowdy.com. Say it like it is.
Say what like it is?
Rowdy.com.